Hello everyone, I'm Charles from Maxflex. Today, I'd like to walk you through our Maxflex one-stop solution for clear aligner processing. As we all know, the clear aligner is very popular in the world, and when we are looking for customers and markets in the globally, we are having so many market trends we found, like rising demands, technical advance, the market players expanding, and also DTC business popular. Integration with comprehensive dental care, treatment, innovation. So also including like cost insurance coverage, sustainability, and eco-friendly practices. Anyway, we are at the right place and right time for growth and innovation for all the participants. As a Maxflex, we are providing the most, which we are based on the idea about self-determination and patient centricity. It's that we empowering the practice that for all the three roles. First is the integrated brand owners and the dental service organizations like dental labs, clinic groups, and also the orthodontics and GPs, general participants. So as we build in the aligner capabilities, we design a production journey, start from the patient impression, data established by our intraoral scanner, treatment planning, 3D printing models, thermoforming, trimming, polishing, and deliver. Also, when we start with the one-stop solutions, we are always doing the development things like product data analysis, material selections, processing equipment, post-process, QC control. Also very important is the product acceptance. It's a very long journey we are go through, but it's very essential. As the most, the three major parts as it's combined is the service, products, and innovation. So today, I'm going to share with the processing equipment part of the most. Also, there'll be 5 market trends for the processing centers. So as we explore so many countries, so many regions that we found out the customer needs and the market trends that we need multiple points to productions because clear aligner is a very fast business. It requires a very fast local supply because patients, clinics, they don't want to wait. So the close proximity to point of care is very important. And the second is the simplicity. The first, fit for purpose. It's very easy to operate and which is very important. And the third is the cost efficiency. It must be very good cost efficiency choice for the productions. That's why can affordable to provide clear aligners. And fourth is the scalability. So the machines, the solutions can be scalable. Otherwise, it will be stop the customer to expand their business in the future. And the fifth is the compatibility. That we already know that there are so many design treatment software in the market, and we need to provide the equipment to can be matched with this existing the systems on the market. As the three major roles in the market that they have the different needs. So like for integrated brand owners, they need a special treatment case. They need even customized the materials and outsourcing innovation ability. And for the dental service organizations like the clinics and the dental labs, so they need a startup investment. They need the multiple points, local delivery, efficiency, lead time, operation cost, scalability for growth. This is the most important groups for the most system as we explore the market trends. And the third is the GPs. So they need a self-reliance, operation know-how, skill set and efficiency, step learning curve, financial flexibility, and economy of scale. So each roles they have different needs, but as the most we will provide all the things. So let's talk about the part of the three-leg stool. So as we are designing the solutions, we must have some basic ideas to for us, like how we want to these solutions look like. So we have 3 major points to think about. That first is efficiency. The solutions or the machine's processing softwares must be as much efficiency as it can for different roles. So if it's very low efficiency, it's not easy to use because it's not worth. So second is the quality. The quality is also the most important part, because if we don't have enough quality, how can we guarantee the final aligners that we provide? So you must have a very good quality, which is even medium to the upper level of the quality on the market. And how we judge the quality, we must have something to do the judgment and to have the quality lines in our mind. Third is the cost. Of course, we can design very good machine, very good material, and it has a very good behavior in the final products. But if the cost is too high, that also avoid a lot of customers to use. So we must to think about from the cost side, provide affordable machines, materials, and softwares to the users. So these 3 points will be the major ideas for us to think about how the solutions we want to provide. So as we talk about so many market trends and the ideas about the solutions and then their needs, their market demands for each roles, we have the 4 major machine parts to combine as a Maxflex aligner processing solutions. First part is the printing part, also including the post-processing machines. Second is the thermoforming, Maxform L2, and third is the laser marking, and fourth is the trimming. So we will expand and the discussion about each part one by one. So first is the printing part. We're providing the MaxPrint P2 and P3 for the market. So the MaxPrint P2, P3, both of these printers, they are LCD printers. And even the MaxPrint P2 is used for lab side, and the MaxPrint P3 is suitable for the chair side. So these 2 different printers, they provide 2 different roles. As the technology of the LCD that we are looking for the final idea about the printers for the clear aligner part, that we need a very good cost performance to choose, because DLP is very good, but sometimes it's not so good in the edge, and also the cost is very high. It's always like 5 times than LCD printers. When we think about the SLA, which is a very mature technology, and it can print a lot of models in one time, but actually the time span is quite long for the SLA, and mostly the operation part, it always need people to manually to remove the model out of the printing platform and clean and restart everything. So the manual work is really heavy for the SLA printers. So the LCD printers is even better for the clear aligner part, because the cost is not so high, but the precision can be very high and even close to DLP printers. So let's see how we think about how we compare the precisions of the models that we printed by LCD printers. The STL file is a widely used file format for 3-dimension data. So as anything can be generated by STL, it's like thousands triangle faces connected together to generation the 3D models. So each models we have so many points on the surface. So this is basic ideas how we to do the comparison. So when we're talking about the printing precisions, we always need to know like how we can provide or we judge the print model. Is it precision or not precision? So the method to do the model precision judgment is that we need to scan the models after printed and to compare with the original STL file within 0.1 to minus 0.1 range, and to see how many points is out of the range of the 0.1 to negative 0.1. So as we can compare it, and there more than 90% of the points is are within this range. So we think that this model is very good precision because it's almost close to the original models based on the points, which is the most precision part. So also we want to see how we thermoform the results, because the final results that we get in our hand is that the model has been thermoformed. So also we need to think about, we don't want to print solid, we want to save material. So what kind of the constructions we want to use? Based on these questions, we looking for the answer. So the answer is that we prefer to use the honeycomb constructions, and the thickness we can set up at 2.5 millimeter. So as this kind of constructions and the thickness we printed, the original mode as with the MaxPrint P2, that the result shows is 99% to match. And also after one time zero forming press, it's 98%, like comparison to the original model, which is already very high. And it's already above our definition, the standard over 90%, because we think 90% is a general standard that can fit for all the clear aligners to accept with the precision of the models. And also the third time 93 and second time 93 and third time is 86. So mostly people, they only do one time pressing, and sometimes when you have some work need to redo, and then you do two time pressing with these constructions. So I think these two times already above on our standard at 90%. So which means that this machine and the resin, the result is quite satisfied with the printing side. And some other resins on the market after three times is even lower to 52%. So which is already model shape changed. So a good material and good printer will be half success of the whole production of the clear aligner, because it provides you the size precision. So when we looking for the more easier way, how we judge by eye, like we can fit the trimming machine platform very well, and it's just slightly to insert and touched very well. But other printers, if you are not good precision, that if you print it, you cannot fit it, because the size has already been changed over the tolerance of the mantle and the steel file of the fixture. So also when we're looking for the details, and when we see the details of a good LCD resin, it's very smooth and clean. But other printers, sometimes the details is really rough, so that we cannot imagine if this can really fit patient mouth. So how can we guarantee the precision that we provide very high pixel the screens, that P2 we provide 7K and P3 we provide 4K. So these two LCD high resolution screen will be basically the idea to provide such precision results. And also we have the printing processings for pre-processing, build up, and post-processing. So we provide the Max panel to slicing and do the honeycomb constructions with all the slicing software can provide. And with the printing set, the P3 can provide two models with 20 minutes. For clinic side, you can have one pair of the retainer to produce, and P2 40 minutes for 12 to 16 models. So one day you can have more than 100 models per 8 hours. And also we have the monitoring and control for the temperature and the display print processing information. For the post-processing part, we provide, there we have the C2 and C3 for the curing, and it's a very strong LED lights. So we only need 1 minute to curing all the models after printed. And then to think about the lab productions, the user-friendly is quite important. So we provide, there will be a max scrap machine to lab users. So after you print it with P2, you can transfer this printing platform to the max scrap machine. And there will be a knife to cut off all the models at the platform within 1 minute. So there will be no human removing work after print, which will be much more faster and easier work for the lab side. So the idea for this solution is to provide a high precision model, to provide a very user-friendly operation, and to provide a fast printer setup. And also for the printing volume, we already tested that it can maintain 16 models with a medium size, with a P2, and you can also print even more or less depending on the model size. And also we suggest that we always use the horizontal print. The reason that as we tested the horizontal printing result compared with the vertical print, that the comparison shows that the horizontal print will be more high precision than vertical. As we printing in vertical, the constructions is only two small parts to connect it on the printing platform, which is easier, have the possibilities to having the shape changed when you do the printing, and also after curing. So we rarely suggest that we print with the horizontal. So it's faster, it's more stable, and more precision to guarantee the result if you compare with the vertical print. The best material that we can offer is that the Model X, this resin is very low viscosity. It's very easy to flow like water, and this after print is very high initial force. And the most important is that it only need less printing time for printers. So we only need like 15 times less than other printers. So we have shortened printing times. And it's very good surface wear and a scratch resistance. So as the flexural strength and modulus is much more higher than other resin on the market, it's all compatible with the P2, P3 for fine detailed aligner models. So the biggest advantages for the resin and also the very sensitive consideration about the user side is the smells. The resin, if you are really care about the production side, you will always thinking about the health of the employees. So the smell is really important because the low odor of resin liquid, it will reduce the VOC emissions. So it will reduce the health risks and improve user comfort. But however, the resin, why have smells? Because of the raw materials of the low-cost resin liquid will release more monomer in the air. So that will result in a heavier odor. So the less smell will provide a better environment for the operation, but it will bring the cost. But in this way that we have to think about because it's about the health. And we don't want the resin cause too much problems for the daily operation. Otherwise, it will increase the risk of the whole companies on the employee healthy side. And the second advantage is that it's not easy to break. So if we can see the normal resin parameter and the Model X parameter, that we can find the flexural strength and modulus, the X is much more higher than the general model resin. So that's why it's very not easy to break. As when we print it, it's always we will have some accidents that the models fall on the ground and some operation not good. So as it's breaked, it means that you need to do this work second time again. So you will pay more time in the production, which is that we don't want to see it. So the high successful rate for printing work is very important to make sure the detail that we only do work one time. Then we will save the most resin and time and cost. Also, we can have this resin to match with the major popular printers on the market like Frozen and Cubic and Edigo that we can match. So as we comparison with all the market printers on the market, that the Maxprint P2 is always good at following points like geometry, precision, printing speed, manpower requirement, space usage, user friendliness, durable, and the ease of maintenance. So many customer clients, they are thinking about the printers with the consumable printers because it's very cheap and easy to obtain. But actually, when we're talking about the four major parts, when comparison with the Max Print and the consumer printers, that the integration models is not so higher than the professional part. And also light source, the consumer printers is not so evenly very high control on the uniform of the light, and also even the cooling system is not so sufficient. So that's why it cannot bear the long-term printing, long-time printing. And also the platform is no preheating. So when you print in the low temperature season, the printing fail will raise. So that's why we provide the print platform is a preheated function. So it's all actions can make sure that the operation will be much more provide a high successful printing rate, printing action. So when we're talking about the thermoforming, that we're going to show our very famous products, Maxform L2. The Maxform L2 is a very unique thermoforming machines. It can provide you to thermoform 125mm sheets and 133mm sheets. Also can accept the sheet thickness from 0.4 to 2.0mm. It's a fully automatic with the operation side. But before we talking about the machine side, we can say that it's a revolutionary geometry design that one sheet we can provide two models thermoforming with a certainty size that it will really save the materials on 40% of the material costing, and even the energy costs. Because you only thermoform one time, and then you have two aligner results. Otherwise, if you compare with the traditional thermoforming machine, you will have two times operation, which means you have two time energy cost and two time manually operation. As we design for the dual thermoforming, size limitation we are putting at 68mm for the width and 60mm for the length, and also 20mm for the height. And the placement, we have prepared the suggestions areas on the thermoforming plate. So as we need to plate on the two sides, makes the distance between the arches with 10mm. So the reason that's why we can provide the 133 sheets for two models, that we have the CT scanners to scan the thickness of the aligners after thermoformed. As we explored these machines in the R&D development, we tested a lot of results to detect the thickness. So the thickness of liners can be guaranteed on the front side, where the result will close to the single thermoforming results from 0.4 to 0.66. So it also depends on the different shape. But the core parts for the L2 machine, the heating control system, that we used the advanced ceramic heating elements. The idea about the ceramic heating elements is that it will provide you a very unique, very even heatings, because we always set up the temperature at 30 degrees, and it will holding on this temperature. But for other thermoforming machines, they will always have the electronic on and electronic off. So the temperature of the heater is not so even. That's why when we're using the L2, we can guarantee that each sheet will goes from the room temperature under the ceramic heaters, and it will take the very similarity the heat to the end. So which means that each sheet will getting the similarity the energy from the heater, and the softness of the sheets will be close the same. Also, second important is that when we detect the sheet's temperature under the thermoforming heating element of the ceramic, the temperature differences is always less than 30 degrees on each point. We tested the 4 points on edge and 1 point on central. So as a special design for the ceramic heaters that can have this result. So that's why the consistent heat sheets rheological behavior is quite similarity, so that it will ensure the uniform of the thermoforming outcome of aligners. That's the most important part for the Maxform L2 thermoforming machines. So it's really can provide a very certainty results to the production side. So it's this machine will providing the consistent same results that can make sure the quality is at this level. As we also explore more ideas about these thermoforming machines and the heaters, that when we only use one sheet under the thermoforming heat, and we will observe the thickness of the lowest point, how thickness being changed under these heaters. So we can see in the picture that with the competitors' machines, the thickness is already 0.52, and the Maxform L2 is still holding around 0.2 millimeter, the thickness of the sheets after heaters. So it means that the thickness can be maintained more than other competitors. As we tested with the real case, that the average numbers that the thickness within the sheets we use 0.76, that the average thickness of the aligners can be more thicker. So as this, based on this point, we do more tests. We tested a higher model and low model, and a comparison of the competitors' printer thermoforming and L2 thermoforming. And also we detected the thickness at the point which is above the teeth and gingival boundary, 1 millimeter above. So these 4 points we detected, and then we found the result is that the aligners after pressing with Maxform L2 has a thicker anterior tooth area, approximately 0.1 millimeter thicker than competitors' products, which provides a better force retention for the clear aligners. And also for the model's height, it didn't provide a different result for the Maxform L2, which means that even the model is higher, that we can still maintain the higher thickness of the clear aligners, especially on the front side. So this will guarantee the treatment can be more predictable, and each step can go more precision on the patient mouth. So it's the aligners formed by Maxform L2 can provide more lasting and stronger orthodontic force than other thermoforming machines on the market. And also we designed is very easy to changing the machine kits, so it can support multiple materials types, thickness range, and also it can change in the 125 millimeter kits and to 133 round tooling. It can change with the same machine. And secondly, we provide the intelligent and user-friendly settings. We can have the more 10 parameters to save, so you just need to change the parameters to different sheets. And also the operation will be only one button to press, and everything will finished by this machine. And its very durability. It provides a service life of 2,000 hours. And minimize and streamlined casing design with high build quality, allow high handling intensity. So it's very reliable workhorse for operation excellence and profitability. So as we compare with the market, the thermoforming machine that is Maxform L2 is in very good performance at aligner thickness control and sheet thickness utilization. Also, the heating element durability and high aligner models production is much higher. So it will be the best values in the thermoforming operations. So about the Mark M2 is the UV laser marking. So in mostly the dental labs, they need the UV laser to laser engraved on the information on the aligners. So we also provide such the UV lasers. It's 3 volts UV lasers. And as we need to figure out that how the UV laser works, because the UV laser is high energy laser beams, and the result of the UV laser is can provide the low heat impact, good beam quality, and high marking accuracy. There are three major lasers on the market. First is the fiber laser, second UV laser, and third green laser. As the fiber laser is suitable for the metal laser engrave, not for the plastic, because a clear aligner material actually is a kind of plastic material. So the UV laser will be the best one for the plastic is laser engraving. But for green laser, it can also provide a good laser marking result. But the green laser, the cost is much higher than UV laser. So when we think about the three legs and the cost part, I think the UV laser will be much more sufficient and enough for the lab users. So let's see how the UV laser can laser mark. That we can laser mark the logos, we can laser mark the informations of the patient, and it's very reliable that you can consistently to use laser marking all the days. So there are also a very easy steps to achieve batchley operations that we can create a very easy program to let UV laser marking to do the autofocus. You can changing the different models height, and the equipment can adjust the focus. And also step one is to provide import batch marking files, and then you can place the dental models one by one for marking, and the name will be changed automatically. So just put one model, two models, three models, and this laser mark contact will be on sequence. So the Max Mark M2 has this function to enabling automatic transition between the marking content, which with operation side is very user friendly. And we also provide even a small setup to changing the different sheets. As when we're talking about the trimming, it's quite a big part on the whole liner system. That in Maxflex we have typically the T1 and the T2 trimming machines. The Max Trim T1 is a 5-axis machine and for single model cutting. And the capacities for trimming, we can have more than 400 pieces per 8 hours. And for Max Trim T2, it can provide single model trimming or dual model trimming. The double trimming capacities can reach to 800 pieces per 8 hours. Both machines, they are really high performance at the servo motors. So as we talking about the liner trimming, there were one topic that we will never can be removed. That is about the cutting lines. How can we get the cutting lines? As there are so many treatment software on the market, like Onizef, Master, 3Shape, Titan, Soft Smiles, Nemocast. So we already integrated with more than 10 design treatment that they can export it, the trimming models with our Maxflex trimming fixtures and cutting lines. And also we provide our own softwares. So the first that we can already have these partners that can provide the trimming systems with cutting lines directly, which will be the most suggested and the efficiency ways for the users to using the trimming machines and to do their work. So Maxflex, we have a trimming system with the 4 fixture shape. First, the V1 is a subtract type of the Maxflex V1, which is most popular one. And then we have the additive type with the Maxflex V2 and V3. And also we have the dual cut fixture as dual cutting. So this is the whole Maxflex fixture system. And we can also see that when we're using the different the orthodontic design software, there will be the page to showing the cutting lines like 3Shape. So the trimming line from the treatment software will be much more easier. But anyway, we will provide a another software which is OsCurve software that it can provide the flexi cutting line. So as we're talking about the OsCurve, it's a self-development by Maxflex software team, and it can provide two functions. First is the automatic calculation functions. As the model is a separate model with teeth and gingiva, it can automatic generation the cutting lines. And if the model is a unique model that the teeth and the gingiva is being connected, then we can provide a semi-auto calculation function that we only need to draw the first model and the rest models can be generation automatically, and to do a little bit adjustment to fix the movement teeth, then we can export. So these two functions can fit any treatment, any models around the world, so which is very flexibility and easy of use. So the softwares about the trimming line styles. The trimming line is the most important component of the trimming plan. The quality of the trimming line directly affects the quality of the liner obtained by the final cuttings. So as we talk about the resource of the trimming line data is first from the design software, and then is the third-party software like OsCurve. And the trimming line type, generally we have the scalloped cut for both sides, which is like Invisalign style. And secondly is a straight cut for both sides, which is clinic will be more preferred because they need the more material to remain on the clear aligner to provide the consistent force if you compare with the scalloped both side. And the third is that the scalloped for the labial side and the straight for the lingual side. This will be more commonly because we need a good looking at the labial side, and we want have more material for treatment in the lingual side. Different companies, they will have the different idea about the trimming line styles. And also in the dural placement, we have a very special setup for the dural model setup to set up the model's locations in the thermoforming place. It will be pre-prepared in the software. Also, the precision, how can we guarantee the precision? First, that we have the machine mechanically, we have the XY positioning accuracy at 0.01 millimeter, and the repeat precision is 0.02 millimeter, which is very sufficient for the clear aligner cut. And also we provide a visualized function to define the trimming line with the high precision. The yellow points is the real size of the diameter of the trimming burr. So every inner side of the cutting of the yellow point is the actual cutting area of the models on the software side. So the users can directly to judge where we want to cut, and also can easier to set up the distance, the boundary of the teeth and gingiva, and to the rear cut. And the cutting results. With the birth of the max trim, the cutting edge is really smooth and clean, almost burr-free. But with other trimming machines, sometimes the errors cannot be guaranteed. The cutting speed for the scallop is a little bit more longer than the straight, and we always consider about the cycle time of the operation. So single trimming, we can say it's 50 seconds for the operation, one models from the model put in and aligner cut off, take it off. And dual cutting is around take 1.5 minutes, like 80 seconds. So it's a very high operation if you compare with other trimming systems. And the biggest thing, also advantages for the trimming parts of the Maxflex series, that we used vacuum absorption stability, these sections, to provide a very strong fix of the models on the trimming platform. So when we have these models, we have the rubbering to make sure this will provide a vacuum to start. We provide a vacuum, and when we do the trimming, we will first to fix these models by the vacuum and rubberings. So the strength in the vertical directions is more than 100 newtons. So it's very strongly to fit these models on the platform that can make sure that this cutting can have very good precision. And also the servo motor is also a very good important part, because the servo motors it will be more reliable and have some memory functions to let the customer operation much more easier, because we don't need to open the machines and do reference run, do the preparations. We just need to open and directly use. So it will be much more helpful for the general users. While the step models, sometimes it's very easy to cannot perceive the load changes. So that's why it will cause some failures. We all know that the aligner production is very important every day, because you cannot stop. So as long as the machine no need of preparation work, directly work, then it will never give you the chance to have the machine startup issues at the beginning of the day. We know that the clear aligner production is a very huge work. Every day you have hundreds models to trim, to thermoform, to print. So when we loading the files, how easily we can let the machine to work and to build up a good workflow is also important. So we provide the barcode scan function that we can let a label printers to print the label, and after thermoformed, we can stick the labels on each thermoforming sheets. So the scanner can scan the code, and then the machine can automatically grab the trimming files to the machines. So these operations can provide various efficiency identifications and accurate matching, so no models can be selected wrongly to cause the collaboration collects on the machine. And also the results can be saved, like how many models we can have these days. So we can support the Maxflex T1 and also T2. And the T2, we even provide a higher level of the spindles. It can provide the cooling all the time when we do the trimming, and it's easy for the tool changing function, and it's a very long service life for the spindle also. It's equipped with the debris blowing functions to prevent the dust buildup, saving the clean time and protect the tools. So as talking about the dural trimming, when we have mixed up the productions, that we can provide the max scan especially for the T2, that when we put on the two models, we can put the models without sequence. So we can put the number 1 on the left and the number 5, for example, on the right. So when we put two models together and thermoformed, the max scan can identify the two models on this sheet and calculation the trimming file to the machine directly. So it can provide the production very flexibility to operation on the thermoforming and the trimming, avoid the human errors, and improve the yield rate, because the models will be only identified on the model itself. While we also provide the manual dual trimming operation, which means that we let the software to export the dual models on sequence. So we will let the number 1 models on the left and the number 2 models on the right. So the 1 and 2 will be a group, and 3 and 4 will be on group. So we put the models on sequence when we do the thermoforming, and also prepare the NC files in PC. So when we put these models to the trimmer, every models we have the sequence and the corresponding NCs. So it will also provide a very good result without the max scan machines, but it will require the operators to put these models on the sequence. It's really the world first dual model trimming on the world, and really fast and cost savings for the production side. As we know, the biggest consumptions is dental sheets. So as a sheet provider, we will try the best to provide as much efficiency and cost performance solutions for all our users. It's not means that we are not like to want to sell more sheets, but in these dual solutions, we just want to provide as much benefits as the users can have. And also, we provide a new Maxflex V2 fixture, as we have already showed in the previous page, that these fixtures we can have work with 133 sheets with a flat platform directly. So the sheets can thermoforming the models on the flat platform, and after the thermoforming sheets, we can cut off the sheets to separate the two parts, and we can insert one models on the Maxstream T1 with the V2 fixtures can directly to cut, which means that the users can have more flexibility to select the each models, and then they can have the T1 machines to do the dual cutting, which will provide a lower machine investment in the beginning. So this will be also a very good selections for the user side. And also, as we are working with so many dental labs and group clinic groups, so the people will always asking like how we set up the dental labs for clear aligners. So here is a very simple graphs to give an idea about like how we set up the productions of the aligners. So maybe we can have 7,000 pieces per month, and with 7 persons or 6 persons around, like, and we work like 24 days with 8 hours per day, and the space we need around like 15 square meters, and we need the following machines. So it's a printers, wash, max scraping, scrap machines. The C2 is curing, L2 thermoforming, laser marking, trimming, and we have the polishing and wash and drying. So, and with QC and packing. So this is the briefly the layout for the aligner production setup to give an idea about how this production can be set up. And also the trimming machine comparisons, the T2 is very strongly advantageous as compared with other machines on the market. So the core values for one-stop solution of the processing also for the whole company is that we really based on the innovation part, the performance and the cost of ownership. As you can feel that how hard work that we are doing on the dual thermoforming and dual trimming, because we really want to provide our customer a very good cost of ownership and the performance and the choice on the production side, and the innovation that we are try the best to do the dual thermoforming and trimming. And this is that we doing basically on the research and the R&D that we have made. It's not just we do this and given an uncertainty result. And also the quality and efficiency is also we guarantee. We are working to provide basically the standard for each step. Like the printers, we want 90% similarity if we compare with the models, and the aligners, thermoforming, we want a uniform thermoforming heaters, and we want the thickness of the front side is more than 0.3 millimeter. And for the trimming, we want the trimming lines be more precision. So that's why we use the vacuum absorptions, and we want the cutting lines can be visually being seen in the softwares. And we want to provide efficiency with that we matched with so many treatment softwares on the world. So we want to provide users to have a very easier flexibility, time-saving solutions, and also the dual trimming. So everything what we do is to provide based on these 4 value points. So that is all the Maxflex processing solutions on the equipment part. And thank you very much for listening. See you next time.